Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents Astrophysics for Supervillains, Mastering the Multiverse and Other Secrets of Space and Time, by Dr. Matthew Bothwell, read by Homer Todiwala. To every version of Rory and Ivy across the infinite multiverse, especially the ones in my home universe. Dr. Matthew Bothwell is an astronomer and science communicator based at the Institute of Astronomy, University of Cambridge. He hosts talks and workshops about almost any area of astronomy, and his research focuses on understanding galaxy evolution across cosmic time. Before you start listening to this book, I have a very serious warning for you. Very, very, very serious. It's so serious, in fact, that I'm going to put the word warning here in massive letters like this. Warning! There you go. Now you know how serious this warning is. The book you are listening to is only to be heard by aspiring supervillains. It contains some of the most dangerous and deadly secrets of the universe, and makes Professor Mayhem's infamous handbook, Top 10 Hilarious Volcano Lair Disasters, look like a relaxing bedtime story. These pages are packed full of the juiciest details about crashing black holes, time travel, and millions upon millions of multiverses. And that's just for starters. If you are not learning to be a supervillain, please do not listen to this. Okay, I think we're safe. Everyone that's still listening, welcome to Astrophysics for Supervillains! Hello again, supervillains. Welcome back to the Supervillain Academy. Hopefully you have been behaving badly since we last met. As the most famous school for supervillains in the world, we do have a reputation to keep up after all. This book is the big one. And by the big one, I mean it's massive. It's time to talk about the most gigantic topics in all of space and time. We're going to grapple with all the most mind-blowing ideas that you love from science fiction, like wormholes, time travel, and multiple universes. But with one important difference. Everything in this book is going to be real. Also, there will be silly jokes about my cat, which you don't tend to get in sci-fi films. It's a win-win, really. We're going to zip across the universe at the speed of light and see what happens to space and time when we push the laws of physics to the very limit. We're going to crash two black holes together. Find out why there is a whole spooky invisible universe out there that we can't see. Try to travel in time. And see if we might be able to take a trip across the multiverse. Phew. Along the way, we'll answer questions like 1. What's the biggest explosion in the whole universe? Answer. There's an explosion out there that is more powerful than every single star in the universe added together. 2. Could we use wormholes to teleport around time and space? Answer. We can't yet, but maybe super advanced aliens could. And 3. Just how many universes are there? Answer. You have to finish this book to find out. And that's just for starters. In our quest across the multiverse, we're going to journey into the heart of a black hole, meet a million identical copies of you, and imagine the weirdest universes that could possibly exist. Join me for our trip across the multiverse and beyond! Chapter 1. The Secrets of Space, with Professor Jupiter Jinx.
Welcome back, my dastardly little friends. This is your first lesson. Not much on the agenda for today. We're just going to cover the ultimate secrets of space and time and discover what the universe is actually made from. No biggie. Let's start with a question. What is space? This is one of those questions that makes your head hurt if you think about it too much. A bit like, what would a triangle with 4 sides look like? Or could you count past infinity? Or how many Smarties could you fit in your mouth? That last one is one of the really deep questions, if you ask me. Sometimes, space just means all the stuff out there in the universe away from Earth. If you tell someone you're reading a book about space, they'll probably guess that you're reading a book about things like planets, black holes, and galaxies, and that you have amazing taste in books. But things like planets aren't actually space. They are just things that are in space. If we want to know what space actually is, it's not going to be something like a planet or a galaxy. So maybe space is also a bit like a place that's out there, beyond the Earth, where all this cool stuff lives. This feels like a good definition. Where is the planet Mercury? It's in space. Where is the biggest black hole? In space. Where is my secret orbital lair of doom? In space. But shh, please don't tell anyone. But still, we haven't found an answer to what space actually is. It's the universe. It's a place where all the stars and planets are. Okay, but what is it? Who turned out the lights? Well, when you get right down to it, space just seems to be nothingness, right? We live in a massive universe that is mostly made up of empty space, and inside that big empty space, there are lots of interesting things, like galaxies and stars and planets and angry hamsters. But space itself is just nothing. Emptiness. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Nothingness, right? This is what people thought, for hundreds of years anyway. If you went back in a time machine and asked a scientist from hundreds of years ago what space actually was, they would probably say, "Ah, who are you and what is that weird machine?" Later, when they'd calmed down, they would eventually tell you that empty space was just nothingness, and that you should stop asking silly questions. Back in the present day, let's give our poor olden days scientists a break. Let's take the Supervillain Academy spaceship for a spin and take a look at some empty space. Sounds boring, I know, but it'll be worth it. We can also go and throw pencils into a black hole afterwards as a treat. Okay, here we are. We've picked a point thousands of light years away from the nearest star. There are no clouds of gas or pesky black holes to worry about. Right in front of us, we have some purely empty space. What can we say about it, apart from the fact that it's dark and empty and kind of boring, obviously? Turns out that even though we normally think of it as nothingness, there are some things we can say about totally empty space. Have a go waving your hands around in it. You can move in all directions inside space. This must mean it's 3-dimensional! It's also see-through, which means light must be able to travel through it. Other things can travel through space as well, like gravity. That's how the sun reaches through empty space to pull the Earth around. It also smells terrible. Wait, stop. That was just a joke to try to make you take off your space helmet. Got you! Okay, let's get back to the classroom and think about what we've seen. The point is that even the emptiest of empty space has some things you can say about it. In other words, rather than thinking of space as absolute nothingness, we should be thinking of space as a thing which is three-dimensional, lets light and gravity through, and may or may not smell bad. You can check next time if you want. This idea that space is a thing and not just absolute nothingness is one of the most famous discoveries by one of the most famous scientists of all time, Albert Einstein. I guess you know you've had a good idea or two when
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.